Awesome. And we are live. Oh, wait, let me just, anyways, guys, we're live. Always a little technical glitch. Happy Friday. Wanted to come here with Agents Who Win. I've got Patty Herrera, multi-state agent. I wanted to just dive in to see how it is to sell homes between two states. I can barely handle Orlando and Daytona, let alone North Carolina and Florida. So, Patty, I appreciate you jumping on. It's an honor to have you. We met a while ago, and it's just, getting to learn about your business and what you have going on, and your growth is amazing. So tell us kind of what you have going on for us.
Hey, exhaustion. No. Right. So I'm actually just traveled from Florida and the team and everything I've got going on there to North Carolina. And I'm in North Carolina right now. So Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, and then Naples, Florida. So I'm between those two markets. And basically, I mean, it's interesting. When I joined EXP, I only have one team. When I joined about 9 months ago. And from there, of course, it's always been my husband and I's dream to go, okay, we're going to go to Florida. We weren't sure where, but we said, we're going to go to Florida. We want warmth. We want sun. We want water. We want, all these things. So we made a 2-year plan, jumped out and got my license in Florida and decided, okay, I'm going to check out this EXP thing, and jumped in there and created a team there, kind of more of a leads team, so that I can expand in that area and still do everything I do in North Carolina, which is my primary market. And basically from there, now I have 3 teams: St. Petersburg, Naples, and Fayetteville, North Carolina. So we're kind of rocking and rolling, and we're looking to grow in Texas soon.
Yeah, I saw that announcement before. That's awesome. It's like, so you've got 3 markets that you're covering.
Yep.
What and you're coming out of Fayetteville. You were an independent broker beforehand.
Yeah.
Was it Litchfield Realty?
Yes, Litchfield Realty. We opened
it
for
almost 20 years, and you've been licensed for about 25. What made you go independent back in 2001?
Okay, so I had been at the larger company and the smaller company, and I kind of took the goods, left the bads, and decided I was going to create my own brokerage, of course, so that I wasn't paying, different franchise fees, desk fees, giving away half of the commission, which, if back in the day, they weren't like they are now. Right now, they're just giving you training and mentorship and all kinds of things. When I started, they gave no training, nothing. So I kind of wanted to create a team environment where we were more like a family, because I certainly felt like a number in the large company. And, I had to struggle and just learn the hard way. So I wanted to create something where people had training, and they had more of a family environment. So we decided to create our own and kind of do it our way.
So, I mean, I love that idea, and expect, coming back to 2001, where it was like you had to be in the office of the trainings. We're not going to Zoom. We're not going to Facebook Live. We're not going to do anything along that. I'm doing a training next Tuesday, and one of the guys like, is it on Zoom? I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out the technicalities. I want everybody in the office for it. I'm hoping we can get it on Zoom, and I have a camera following me around to watch as I'm walking and talking. This is the first one that we're actually doing with a large group, but it's when it's in, I want to make sure it can be evergreen content on our Facebook group. And so, one thing I love about what you have going on too, I follow you in some of the other Facebook groups. You're constantly popping in videos, try these 5 things, or, hey, give me a call, let's connect, and I can help you with this struggle or whatever. And it's in a lot of the new agent groups. And you're doing that because you said you were thrown to the wolves back in 2000 or 95, whatever it was. And I was the same thing. I got my license in 2000. I went right to Remax. They didn't have a training program. I had to figure it out on my own. Now, I also grew up in the business, so I knew the struggles, but I didn't know the techniques. And I learned that from my parents over time. But when I didn't ask them to go on listing appointments with me, I didn't ask them to go on all this stuff. I knew real estate. I just didn't know the sales side. And that's the biggest thing you got to teach people, is the sales side.
Absolutely. You get your, everybody's like, I'm going to get my license and I'm going to do all these things. And your class teaches you pretty much nothing.
How to not get in trouble.
About nothing, because you're not supposed to legally do anything that an attorney does, that a home inspector does, that an appraisal, nothing. And that's what it pretty much teaches you. It doesn't teach you how to do a contract, which blows my mind.
Yeah.
That it doesn't teach that. And I would recommend that everybody go to their local board where they teach that, and learn your buyers, your listings, and all your contracts. But yeah, I reach out to new agents because I just feel like, I have a heart for new agents. I feel that there's a lot of companies or teams that are still not doing training.
Right.
And they're just interested in having, bodies and growing to where they can put them out to show homes. But, it really doesn't do any good if they don't know how to take that call, how to, close on a client, how to overcome objections. They really need somebody to guide them. And if they can't afford coaching, most people don't do free coaching, and they're not at a company that gives mentorship, then who out there is going to help? Because most agents, and I'll be honest, I was the same way for many years, where I kind of held tight to everything because I thought, I stayed up all night. I came up with this program. I did all these things. And now you're going to ask me to hand it to you.
Right.
And I felt like, wow, no, you need to work for it too, But I'll tell you, in the last year and a half or so, I've really just kind of seen that there's so much value that I can be given to other people that of course I learned the hard way, but why do they have to? Let's create a plug and play where we can all help each other. And so that's kind of what I'm doing with the new agent groups. I created you got your license, now what?
Right.
Because they don't know what to do.
Well, and they don't. And it's funny because, you talk about the trainings, and, we brought on about 6 or 8 brand new agents to the team. And you really realize what they don't know when you have so many to work with at one time. Because before it was like, all right, well, we're onboarding 1 or 2 at a time versus 6 or 8 at a time to our team. And how do I open a lockbox? That's not taught in class. Or the other one was how to open or how to close a combination box. And put the combo in, pull the tab down and do that. Sometimes some of them you just close. It's just the small things like that. It's a lockbox. Doesn't everyone know how to do it? To me, it's, most things are second nature, but you take it for granted. And I don't want to do real estate negative 101, but you have to, because when you're with a client and you've secured them to work with you, understanding that, hey, I'm a new agent, but I haven't really told them this is my first showing. When you get to the house and you stumble through things, you're going to lose them in 2 seconds.
Yep.
And so that's why I think you've got to do that. And we've, I feel like we're having a lot of meetings right now with our team, but it's really to get everybody pushed forward so much that we want them to succeed right away. I mean, I'm turning people's leads on or opportunities on within 2 weeks versus 30 days. Because, you got to make money. I want to make sure you're on the street doing that stuff. And you are going, even though it's probably costing me some money, I think most people can learn trial by error. You've gotten the calls in. Now let's correct what you could have done on those calls. Because role play is role play, but live role play, when you're actually going to stumble, that's a different story.
That's what, excuse me, allergies and stuff. I'm back in North Carolina.
Yeah.
But
allergies is because it's snowing.
Right. Well, it disappeared really quick.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of questions from new agents that, are like, how do I have a sphere of influence when I just moved here? I don't know anybody. Yeah. And so I'm kind of trying to teach them that not only are there referral fees from back in where they came from, but there is a sphere that you're not thinking about. Do you go to the gym? Does your child go to school? Do you have a mailman? I mean,
that's your sphere of influence.
Absolutely, because there's so much you can do with that. And then they're asking, how do I choose a brokerage? What's the difference between an independent agent and joining a team? Which is kind of hard because, as I know, all teams work it different, depending on the team leader.
Yep.
It's hard to kind of share that with them. But you, Todd, you're doing awesome. You're providing so much for your team. I think it's amazing.
Well, and we're providing it, but we're also leveraging others who can help us. And that's the thing, when people, like for us with new agents that are coming on board, whether they're on our team or they're just on their own, I tell them, look, this is like, if you're in any brokerage, the broker owns the listings. So it's his listings. So it's not like I need to go ask Patty, can I market your listing? No, I need to go ask Andrew if I can market the listing because it's Andrew's listing, the broker.
Mhm.
And so that's, and so I just say, look, it's a we business, not an I business. We are one big team. So if it's something that's in our MLS, that's in our office, feel free to market it. Because honestly, the more eyeballs I get on our listings, the more exposure I can show to my seller. And cool, if you happen to get an opportunity out of it, awesome. I mean, it's just me providing some value back.
Absolutely. A lot of new agents, and I love it because there are go-getters and then
Yes.
there's ones that, they want everything handed to them. And, you can really tell the difference. I mean, there's only so much we can do. There's Google, there's training courses. I mean, I wish that they had all these, the technology and everything at the fingertips when I first started. I mean,
Yeah.
Todd, our MLS was in a book.
I remember the books.
To find the MLS, we didn't have IDX. There was no social media. We did open houses. We cold called. We door knocked. We, did all of that. So, nowadays it's so much easier to, contact people social and now they have mass texts and mass emails and just so much that can be utilized. So, I definitely suggest for everybody to kind of look up all those things that are at their fingertips because it's amazing. It's amazing.
So let's talk about your teams in Florida. How are you running with, or I guess how often are you coming down here? Because I know a lot of people that are actually selling to multiple states right now, which I find it amazing. How are you handling, when you're buying your clients? So now you're in Florida. Well, you just got back from Florida, but let's say you're still in Florida. Somebody calls up, they want to look at a house. They want to work with just you, and you say, well, I'm in Florida right now, so that, but I'm going to connect you with so-and-so. How does that transfer go to the client?
Yeah, absolutely. So normally I'll speak with the client, and it's different for buyers and sellers, but I always introduce the team. So for sellers, how we normally do it is I do the market analysis and I talk to them. I have a stager and somebody that basically goes out and takes a look at the home, finds out, okay, what are the repairs that need to be done? Does paint need to be done? Kind of preps it for sale. And she will go ahead and schedule anything that needs to be done with our contractors. And she'll take, some photos of, because the main things, I can usually look up the listings online. And I've done BPOs for the Secretary of Veteran Affairs for many years. So my CMAs are usually, really close to the range. And I tell them, hey, I'm not an appraiser. I could get 3 appraisers out to your house in the same day, and they're going to come out with a little bit different number. So I'm going to give you this range. And we'll run your numbers and we'll price accordingly. But she takes care of that and arranges all of that. And she'll take a photo just in case there's any other updates. And I always ask them those questions, of course, pre-listing. And she'll take a picture of the front, the back, the kitchen, and like the master bath, and anything else she thinks I need to see. So I can put eyes on it and complete the market analysis.
Okay.
Talk to them via Zoom. We will do everything. The admin, the TC, she does the paperwork. I look over it, and then I do a Zoom call or a phone call with them and go over everything on there so that they know what they're signing before they get. But basically, and buyers kind of run the same way. But I just introduce the team. Hey, everyone has their specialty. Mine is negotiations. My marketing person, hers is marketing. My transaction coordinator is doing the transaction. And then I have an in-house professional photographer. She goes out and takes the photos. So, it's better to have a team, in my opinion, than one and do everything. So we kind of introduce it that way.
And we do the same thing here. Now it's, I find it interesting that you're doing everything on Zoom. So were you doing this all pre-COVID?
No.
Okay.
No.
So this has all come to light due to COVID.
I think the world has changed forever. And I wish I would have bought stock in Zoom before.
Oh my God, I know.
Yes.
Well, I sold a lot of stock back in March, between March and May when the market was down. I waited to get back where I was like going to break even or make some money. And I wish, I was just trying to capitalize. Even though we had an awesome year, we didn't know what the year was going to become. And I'm not a stock analyst by any means. And I wish I would have been, because some of the stocks we've owned have gone up 1,000%. I'm like, where's my down payment for my new house? Oh, wait, I sold it. It's totally too early. But it's like, when you go to introduce the teams, I think it's a great concept because the sellers can realize it is not just one person. There's no I in team. It's not, it takes an army to run this. And if I'm one person trying to do it all, if I happen to go on vacation, the business shuts down. If I happen to get sick with COVID, the business shuts down. Yeah. So when you can introduce, you've got the stager, the marketer, and all this stuff. Things are still going on in the background.
Yeah, and I think it's about communication.
Yeah.
As long as it's explained up front and they know what to expect, I think it's fine. I think it's when they start working with someone and they have an expectation that they thought they were working with that one person and they get handed off is where you run into the issues there.
Yeah. So. And I've had that sometimes where I don't do the proper handoff, and I try to correct that on each client. And I haven't talked to some clients we're closing like next week. I haven't talked to them in 3 weeks, but Katie's been doing her job. I'm wrapped in on all communications. They're like, cool, Katie's doing an awesome job. I would rather see on the reviews that we get that my support team did a better job than me, because that means they're doing what they're supposed to, letting me go out and run my business while they go out and get the deals closed.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I feared when I went to 2 markets is, that people that I had known in Fayetteville, personally, whether it's church, whether it's, whoever was referring me business, I worried that, okay, they're going to think I moved to Florida and I'm no longer doing the market here. And so I was creating, I got separate, Facebook pages, separate websites, separate everything so that they didn't think that. But of course, if you're on my social media, where I am. So it was I have to make sure that I'm constantly saying, hey, I'm not only doing Florida and North Carolina, but I can help you anywhere you go because I have partnerships around the world.
Yeah.
So, and that's really helpful because it can be a little tricky there to do multiple states when people know you personally and they want you.
Well, that is the thing, is like, you've got to show them that the people that you're referring them to are more valuable than you are. And you're in the background, you're watching everything, you know what's going on. I got a friend that moved from Michigan down to North Carolina who still runs her team in Michigan. I think she's got young kids, so she's not where I can go here 2 weeks, back 2 weeks, etc. So she's got the business in North Carolina as well. And that's been a challenge because she didn't want to post that she moved because she didn't want to lose the business up there. But yet you've got to run one account and show that it can be done. Because I know Keller made a big thing of the expansion markets. And, if I was to go to North Carolina and try and build the team right now, nobody knows Todd Schroth. Everyone knows everybody else but me. So if I go up there and build the Todd Schroth home selling team in that market, who's this guy? Now you've got to have so much brand recognition pumped out right away. It's so much upfront, and make sure the team is there running the way you want it to. So you can still be here doing what you're, with your wife and kids or spouse, whatever, and and still live your life, because I don't want to be in 4 or 5 different markets. Now, beauty of Zoom, and we've all learned to adapt to, let's have these meetings or FaceTime or whatever, makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Zoom, I think Zoom is here to stay. I love it because I can do my listing appointments via Zoom, because realistically, most of the people because we're in Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, so it's a military town. So most of them have the property as a rental property. They're gone. Military took them somewhere. They're not local anyway. So Zoom means they don't have to travel back just to come and meet with me.
Right.
So it's really created, a great platform for us to be able to communicate and actually see and put the name and the face and everything together with these clients. And I think it's been wonderful. I love it. I hope it does stick around because it's been really convenient for everybody. So I
haven't embraced the listing appointments on Zoom yet. I'm embracing it with interviewing agents on my team, which has been great, or even new employees, because if I don't engage you correctly on the phone, or on Zoom, then it's not going to work in person. And if you can't figure out how to turn a camera on, I spend 3 to 4 minutes sometimes on an interview with them just getting the technology working. Yep. And they're like, yeah, the camera's on. I'm like, I'm looking at a black screen. They don't realize the slide's on, or they didn't hit the camera. And I literally, when I know what's going on, I'm like, go to the bottom left, hit start cam, and then I just get this sun glare because they're sitting in the window. They won't move. I'm like, so I can't see you. I can't see your personality and all that other good stuff. It's like, can you shift your laptop 6 degrees, and we can, tilt. What is it? Tony Robbins guy says the 2 millimeter shift. Shift your laptop 2 millimeters forward, and I can get out of the sun.
That's my mom on FaceTime. I'm like, Mom, I can't see you. She's 89, bless her heart. She's doing FaceTime, right? But I'm like, I can't see your face, So, but I do think that 2020 has really forced a lot of people into technology that they were scared of before.
Yeah.
So, so I think that's kind of good. So more people are using it, and if they're not, they're gonna start, because I do think it's here to stay.
So here's some advice for the new agents that are out there. You have two really different groups coming into the market. People that are, call it middle-aged, 40s to 60, that are getting laid off of their jobs, coming into this as a new career, and people that are in their, or let's say, mid-40s to mid-60s. Then you have the mid-20s getting into the business. What is your recommendation for both? Because, 60s is going to adopt technology a lot different than somebody in their 20s.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mean as far as technology or real estate?
I guess what does a 25-year-old need to look for in the business getting started, and then what is someone in their upper, and like when they're switching careers at the their later part of their life, or their working time to get started?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because North Carolina and Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, it's more millennial based.
Yeah.
So our marketing is more towards millennial. Well, Naples is more retirement community and second home. And so we've had to make that shift in the different states. As far as realtors, what I would say is, of course, know your market. And for the younger generation, which I have 3 sons that, one's working on their license, 2 have their license. So
they got sucked in like I did.
Yes, I did too. I never wanted sales. I never wanted commissions. Hated it, but here.
25 years later, I'm still doing it, so it works. My mom's, I think, 53 or 54 years as a realtor. So
I know it's crazy how that works. You get sucked in. So I think the younger generation, use their talents. Use their the technology, because of course we all know, they're doing, Twitter, and they're doing, Clubhouse, and they're doing, all the different platforms that there are out there. So utilize that, become known, be yourself, and know your market. I say the younger generation should gear their market towards the other younger generation.
Well, and use the other apps that are there. Use the TikTok and the other stuff that is that more people in that generation are using, I think, to get your brand name out there.
Absolutely. And then I feel like the ones that are older now, I will tell you, I turned 50 last year. So I was a little on the, oh my gosh, I know I've been in business for a while, but, is it my time to kind of sit back a little bit and let the others have this? Like, should I be doing this? And you know what? The answer to that was no. I am ready to rock and roll. And I would say get over the age thing. It's all about mindset. I really learned that in December, to be honest with you. Mindset made the difference, a world of difference. So you can do anything you put your mind to. If you're not good with technology, you know what? Take the time, get good with technology. Talk to somebody that knows YouTube or knows TikTok or knows things like that, and really soak that in, practice, make it happen. So whatever you don't know, get to know, and just get your mindset in the right place, because you can do it no matter what age you're in. And just, again, know your market, know your talents, use those, and then get others to help you with the things that are not your God-given gifts.
So it's funny you mentioned YouTube and the age brackets, and Jesse and Jackson, who run the Channel Junkies YouTube page, I'm in the group, and one of my team members is doing a bunch of YouTube stuff, and I laugh at the different people that are on there, and I see the personalities of the people, and I'm like, so normally I would expect the younger guys doing that stuff, wanting to jump in the front of the camera, and then I see this 70-year-old man doing all these different poses in front of a green screen. I'm like, dude, that is freaking awesome. You're stepping out of the box and just like going to rock a YouTube page. You're going to hit the demographic that's coming down here, which is awesome. But it's just, funny to see the people like that doing the YouTube where I wouldn't, it's the unexpected.
Yeah. It's like, yay. It's like when we first moved over to Florida. A lot of people were outside working out, doing things. And there was this guy, he had to be 75, 80 years old. he was fit. I mean, he was running. He had the muscle. I was like, wow, well, good for you. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
My shoulder.
I know. I'm like, man, it makes me mad.
Yeah.
I'm not there, but you know, do anything as long as your mind is set in that right direction. And I really feel that way. So, you know, that's number one key. That's what I did in December. I got that right mindset and I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm doing it. You know, be around those that challenge you, because that's really super important. Be around those that challenge you. And like they say, be the dumbest person in the room, right?
Yep. And you want to hire people smarter than you so they can help excel your business.
Absolutely.
So the kind of tailoring to two things, I want to throw two pieces of advice at the different age groups. The 25-year-olds, that is the biggest buyer market right now. And you got to let them know you are an agent. That's why I use it's a we business, not an I business, because you're going to walk in as a brand new agent. We've got some people in the mid-20s who are working for us now. And I'm like, you have so much opportunity. I don't even need to give you business, because all I need to do is teach you how to get in front of your own people, and you're going to bring business in that way. The people that are in their 50s and 60s leaving, you know, corporate careers, leverage the corporations, leverage the relocation, because you're going to have a like mind of the people that are, you know, at that management or president's or, you know, executive level that are relocating. They want to work with someone who's been in that demographic already and been in that workforce already. And so it's like leverage the corporate world somehow to find your business.
Yeah. And, you know, some of the new agents that I work with, some of their questions are, how do I get leads or clients without bothering my friends and family? And I'm just like chuckling a little bit like, wait a minute, you know, don't look at it as sales. I'm selling to you.
Yeah.
You're providing a value. You're providing a service. You know, if you learn what you're doing, you hone in on your skills, you get good at it, you know, you're providing a great service for them so that, you know, they're well taken care of, you know, that the negotiations run smooth, that you're doing everything for them. So again, mindset, get over I don't want to bug somebody, and look at it like, hey, I'm providing something to you. And I think that's super important too. So, you know, I would definitely say, you know, reach out to everybody, you know, don't bug them. Don't sit there every day. Hey, you got somebody for me? You know, there's a difference.
Well, here's a coaching company that I would look at that'll teach you how not to bug people is Michael Mayer, 7 Levels of Communication. And Tommy is one of his coaches here in the Orlando market. And I got one of our agents, a friend of mine who's an agent at another company. We sat down in August and talked about a business plan. You went completely dark. There you go.
I know. The sun went, whoo.
Yeah, I've got the bright lights on me. But I saw her business go from, you know, talking to her in August about like, what do I do? What's my next step? Because I'm at 18 deals this year, and I'm a individual agent, and I want to go further, but I have nothing in the pipeline to. This is a guy she met in her B&I group who's a coach for Michael Mayer, and all of a sudden she had 6 contracts, and it was like in September. It taught her how to reach out to her sphere without bugging them, picking out your A through Z database, pick out your top 25, engage in them, provide a value back to them. And it's not just real estate. Hey, do you need kitchen people? Do you need this? I have this vendor network of people. And then they're going to see that you have value that you can bring back. And then they're going to start referring back to you. And her business is on fire. She's got I think her son is 6 months old, and she's got a 7-year-old. And so she's busy from being pregnant to figuring out where her business is. Now she's in overwhelm. Now I'm hiring an assistant to now I need a showing assistant to be able to help because I want to be there for my kids. And it's just funny that little bit of business, she doesn't buy any leads or we call opportunities. It's all self-driven back to her.
I think that's amazing. I think that's awesome. I mean, so I don't think I had told you, but I was 8 months pregnant when I took the class. I was just bored. I did it with somebody, right? And then I had a newborn and went right into the business with a newborn. And then as I created my own company, like in 2001, I had kids and I homeschooled. So My third floor was set up with homeschool things, and my second floor was my office. So I'd go upstairs and I'd say, okay, we need to do this and get them started. And then I'd run downstairs and I'd do the phone calls, and then I'd run back up, and it was crazy. But, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yep.
So because there's a lot of people that are like, I'm a single mom, or, just had a baby. Can I do real estate part-time? Things like that. And the answer to all those are yes, yes, yes. But it depends on you.
Yep, exactly.
To put into it. So
and that's the same thing. My mom, and you probably share the same stories, because she's been selling since 70, and my sister's 71, 72, and I'm 75. And so she's like, I was showing houses at 9 months pregnant. I was on the ambulance being sent to the delivery room, stop by for a showing, doing contracts, and then I'm like, Mom, all right, that's a bit much. But it's just, you don't stop, and don't complain that your kids are with you. I've taken my kids to showings. I was the kid in the car being the pain in the ass, beeping the horn while my mom's in trying to make money at a listing appointment. I didn't have Netflix and all this stuff. I had the cassette tape that I had to hit rewind on and listen to the same song all the time. Oh, my batteries died. So it's like, get over it. Take your kids with you, because the clients will actually understand that, and it's like walking your dog. They're like, oh, cool, nice dog. And it creates a conversation. They see the kids in there. My kids actually engage the client sometimes more than I do. So when we're doing shows, now my kids are 11 and 13 now, but now we leave them home if I'm going for a quick showing. But if it's one of their friends, I'll bring them with. And my daughter, I was showing this one couple. I had my daughter with me. The first house, the older daughter, which was I think 6, was really shy at first, and then the next house, she grabbed my daughter's hand to walk around the house with her. So every showing, where's Emily? Where's Emily?
I have seen children that have been taught. I mean, they've learned by looking at it. They're going around showing houses. This is the living room, and this, and it's so cute. And especially during COVID times, I mean, because a lot of kids aren't. People are understanding, a lot more than they used to be in the past. So bring them along. They'll learn. Hey,
they help make the sale. They help make the connection. And
I want to training. They're still going with me, and they're 22 and 20.
Oh, that's funny. I almost got pushed in the pool. I was showing a house on New Year's Day to a couple, and mom hadn't met me yet. And the couples, I mean, they're in their 30s, but the mom hadn't met me yet, and I was making a joke. So, and we haven't seen the inside yet. So, from what you've seen today, do you see yourself living in this home? And the mom was about to push me, because I was being the salesperson. And I want to teach the kids to say that if we take them to a showing, because it would just be funny if your daughter, the younger kids, be like, so from what you guys have seen today, would you see yourself in this home?
Yeah.
I luckily didn't get pushed, because no, we like Todd. It's a joke,
Yeah. Well, see, I also have another kid that I bring with me sometimes to showings, is my little Yorkie. So everybody knows me. So that's my little Yorkies in my photos and my marketing. And, you'll be surprised at how many people are like dog lovers that are like, oh, where's the Yorkie? If I don't bring her to work, everybody's asking for the dog. Where's the dog? Where's the dog?
Yeah.
And I always worried about, well, what if somebody was allergic? I don't want to, take them, but everybody loves the dog and wants to see the dog.
Yep. If they don't like the dog, they won't go to the dog. Yeah. Now, we got golden retrievers, and I mean, our whole team has pretty much large dogs. So it'd be funny to have an in-office dog day. We've all brought the dogs into the office at random times, but it's just funny. It's like, I want to get all of them in here at one time, because it would just be like chaos.
We do that. We do that. We're like, okay, bring your dog to work day. And, and they're huge dogs. I'm the only one that has but I have Yorkies now. So so they're he's the large dog. So it's really fun.
Oh my God. That's awesome. Well, Patty, I want to wrap up. Any final words we can give back to the agent market that's out there? How do they connect with you if they want to kind of work with you one-on-one with some coaching? What other items of value can you bring them if they're going to connect with you?
Yeah. So basically, go on Facebook and it's Patty Herrera, or you could go to Patty Herrera Home Team. You can find me either place and shoot me a message. Feel free to text me. My number is 910-476-4267. Text me anytime. You can ask me any questions. I'm there to help. Most of my coaching is free. I'm there to help. I want people to, excuse me, to to learn and provide value and just give them something that I didn't have. So definitely connect with me. I'd love it. Some advice I would say, especially on social media, is number one, don't be an undercover agent. Let everybody know that you're actually in the business, and delete all the posts from before when you thought nobody was looking at you before you got into real estate, because that is one of the first things I look at when somebody applies. I'm trolling. I'm looking at their Facebook page, seeing what type of person are they.
Right.
And
they like to have fun. Maybe that's too much fun.
Yeah. So I'm like looking like, okay, what are they, are they posting? So I definitely clear all that out and, be you, but clear all the things out that you don't want everybody in the world to see, because their eyes are going to be on you.
When you're talking social media and you're talking about clearing stuff out, delete political comments. Do not post on political things. Do not comment on political things. You're not a politician. People will run from you because you're posting that stuff and you're too opinionated. Post business, post things that will help elevate the world versus this is my opinion versus yours and getting in arguments with people.
Absolutely.
I actually have started deleting my comments on Facebook groups that where they're broker bashing or you're an idiot or whatever. I'm like, I had some comments running and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start pulling that stuff out of there. I'm just going to ignore those conversations because it's 800 thread deep. And, I want to keep a brand out there that's positive, not, we're better than you or why are you being the way you are?
Yeah. Remember what your mama taught you. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say
nothing nice at all. Exactly.
I mean, it's going back to old school, with that. I do the same thing. No political stuff. I don't want to, have an argument via, text or via Facebook or whatever. It's right. I feel like that's appropriate for business, but I do post a lot of personal things, just like when I go to Disney or, what my family's doing and things like that. So it kind of makes you real because people want to, work with that person and feel like they know that person a little bit intimately. So, I post that and business posts and kind of mix it all together. So.
Well, that was funny after the election was done, and I think like November 5th, everyone goes, "Can we get back to posting what you guys are having for dinner?" I'm more interested in what you're eating than what your political opinion is. And
I know.
You want to be positive.
So tired of hearing about everything in the world because you're either on one side or you're on the other side, and
there's no middle ground anymore. So it makes it a pain.
Yeah.
Well, Patty, I appreciate you coming on today, guys. Follow us on Agents Who Win Facebook. You're going to see this live on YouTube as well. Check out Patty's stuff. She's got dropping a lot of content, a lot of value back to the agents. If you're in one of the new agent groups, you'll definitely see her there. And I appreciate you popping on today, Patty.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, Todd. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day and just reach out if I can help you with anything.
All right. Happy Friday, everyone.